Last time on Shadow Piece, the scheming battle between the pirate guru Wang Ji and the swamp hero Caribou continued. Each and every step that Caribou made led him deeper into the traps of the opponent. Not even his future sight helped him get out of this arduous situation, as Wang Ji had accounted for the advanced observation haki technique. All of his preparations weren't for a single plan. He had schemes upon schemes, forcing Caribou to see countless futures, making him unable to properly predict what his enemy was about to do. And just when the swamp human adjusted, the earth human was already prepared for that outcome. Every time Caribou struck, swamp seeped into cracks. Every time Wang Ji hardened the terrain, moisture remained trapped beneath. Pressure built, density shifted. Wang Ji noticed. "So you're adapting," he said, vaulting over a rising swamp wave and slamming his foot down hard enough to split the earth in two. "Good, that means I can move on to the next phase." The split ground revealed something Caribou had not seen. Symbols. Geometric patterns etched deep into the bedrock, circles, lines, intersecting planes of earth infused with long prepared haki. The entire battlefield wasn't just terrain, it was a formation. Caribou's future sight went haywire. He saw himself winning, he saw himself losing, he saw himself impaled, crushed, buried alive. He saw Wang Ji dead, he saw nothing at all. "What did you do?" Caribou demanded, backing away slowly. Wang Ji planted himself at the center of the formation. "I took away your clarity," he said softly, "by preparing for every single outcome." The earth rose, walls sealed the perimeter. The sky darkened as stone plates lifted and locked overhead. The battlefield became a closed system, an earthen domain where every variable bent towards one will. Caribou stood as its target, chest heaving, eyes burning, future sight screaming with overlapping possibilities that refused to resolve into a single truth. Wang Ji raised one hand. "Now," he said, calm and absolute, "try to see a future where you're not exactly where I want you to be." The earth tightened around Caribou's feet once more, and this time the trap held. Stone groaned, not cracked, groaned. The enclosed earthen domain Wang Ji had erected breathed like a living thing. Layers of compressed rock shifting under immense pressure. Haki hummed through the walls, not violently, but with the steady certainty of something that had already decided the outcome. At its center stood Charlotte Caribou, knees bent, weapons discarded, breathing slow. His future sight was screaming, not with clarity, but with something that could only be called noise. Hundreds of futures overlapped in his mind, none dominant enough to claim truth. He saw himself impaled by stone lances, crushed beneath converging walls, buried alive as oxygen ran out. He saw himself striking Wang Ji down, saw the guru coughing blood, saw victory, and then watched as all those futures collapsed before they could stabilize. "Tch," Caribou muttered. This wasn't confusion, this was intentional. Across the domain, Wang Ji stood perfectly still, arms crossed with nothing but confidence. His presence alone anchored the battlefield, his observation haki extending outward like invisible roots, monitoring every vibration, every shift in pressure. "You're quiet," Wang Ji observed. "That usually means your mind is working in overtime." Caribou didn't answer. Instead, his swamp began to move. Not outward, not upward, down. The ground beneath him softened, liquefying just enough to swallow his ankles, then his calves, and then everything stopped. He wasn't trying to escape, he was listening, letting his body sink into the battlefield rhythm. The earth answered. Caribou's eyes widened slightly. "So that's how you're doing it," he murmured. Wang Ji tilted his head a fraction. "Oh?" "You're not reacting to me," Caribou said. "You're reacting to the battlefield." He lifted his hand and clenched it. The swamp beneath him hardened suddenly, not into stone but into something dense and rubbery, absorbing pressure instead of resisting it. The domain shuddered. Wang Ji's eyes sharpened. "You're trying to desynchronize my control." Caribou grinned, teeth bared. "Future sight isn't just about seeing what happens." He slammed his foot down. "It's about understanding why something happens." The ground erupted, not explosively, but surgically. A ripple of swamp surged through microscopic cracks in the earth formation, expanding just enough to disrupt the haki reinforcement Wang Ji had layered beneath the surface. Stone didn't shatter, but its response lagged. For the first time, Wang Ji was the one that had to adjust. He stepped back as Caribou bursted forward, swamp hardening into grooves around his legs, arms morphing mid-motion as weapons cycled through his hands in rapid succession. Spear, hammer, chain blade, bare fist, each strike targeted a different future. Wang Ji blocked them all, but the timing was off. Stone shields rose a fraction later than intended. Earth spears missed by centimeters. The domain compensated, but it was no longer absolute. Wang Ji exhaled. So you have stopped looking for a single future. Caribou spun low, liquefying his torso once again to avoid a crushing horizontal slap, reforming instantly as he countered with a haki-coated uppercut that shouldn't have connected, but it did. Wang Ji slid backwards, boots carving trenches through stone. Blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. You're seeing layers now, Wang Ji said calmly, wiping it away. Potential chains, decision trees. Caribou's chest heaved and he answered. I don't pick a future anymore, he replied. I let you narrow them down. Wang Ji laughed, a deep, genuine laugh. Excellent, he said. Then allow me to widen them once again. He slammed his foot into the ground. The domain split. Walls unfolded like petals, stone plates rotating, rearranging the battlefield into overlapping corridors, pillars rising and sinking unpredictably. Gravity shifted, angles skewed, distance lost meaning. Caribou staggered as futures multiplied again, but this time something was different. He wasn't overwhelmed by it, he was tracking everything. I see it, he whispered, not seconds ahead anymore, not moments. Instead, he saw the consequences. If Wang Ji hardened the left wall, pressure would divert right. If he compressed the floor, vertical escape narrowed. If he attacked directly, he'd expose the domain's core. Caribou moved before Wang Ji finished thinking. Swamp tendrils lashed outward, not to strike, but to anchor, stabilizing Caribou against the shifting terrain. He ran along collapsing walls, leapt through falling stone, using future sight to step only where the ground would be, not where it was. Wang Ji countered relentlessly. Earth dragons, crushing gravity wells, stone blades launched from blind angles. Caribou dodged, not cleanly, not effortlessly, but correctly. Each hit he took was chosen over a worse one. Each injury prevented something fatal. Blood soaked into the swamp. Still, he advanced. You're growing mid-fight, Wang Ji said, admiration threading his voice. That's dangerous. Caribou slammed both of his hands into the ground. The swarm surged upward, forming a massive rotating mass. Dense, compact, reinforced with layered haki. Not an attack, a shield. Wang Ji's eyes widened slightly. You're stalling? Yeah, you got a problem with that. Caribou replied, panting but also taunting. Because now I can see far enough. The swarm shield detonated outward, not towards Wang Ji, but everywhere else. The domain destabilized as Caribou forced too many variables at once, overwhelming even Wang Ji's preparations. Stone cracked, walls collapsed, the battlefield opened again to the sky. Both men landed on opposite sides of the ruined terrain, battered, bloodied, breathing hard. For the first time, they stood on equal ground. Wang Ji straightened, rolling his shoulders. You've closed the gap, he admitted. Impressive. Caribou wiped blood from his eyes. I don't need your praise. I know this still isn't enough. Wang Ji smiled. Correct? The earth beneath Caribou shifted again, subtly. Not a trap, a setup. You've learned to see deeper, Wang Ji said softly. But death doesn't matter if you're still standing where I want you. Caribou's future sight flared up once more, and for the first time since he had improved on it, he saw nothing at all. And this is the end of today's episode of Shadow Piece. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is also the first episode with this new look of mine. I hope you like this. This is how I'm going to look from now on. So, yeah. Hope you like it. Yeah, we're still in the Caribou fight. The future changed. This is now how everything is going to happen. Next week we will go on with the fight between Wang Ji and Caribou, and maybe determine who is going to come out victorious. For that, you will have to return in the following week. So that's all from me for today. All that's left to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro, out. Bye!